Welcome, everybody. My name is Chad Seaverns. I'm the COO and co-founder of Gearfire. Whoops, got too clicky there. My presentation today is on streaming inventory and how to use streaming inventory to drive more sales for your retail store. So I'm just going to jump right in and kind of define. There's no official definition of streaming inventory. When you closer. Oh, pull it closer. Okay, sorry. When you try and Google streaming inventory, you get a lot of stuff on like Netflix streaming videos and all that stuff. But for me and Gearfire, streaming inventory is the inventory that's sitting in a supplier's warehouse. Exchanging that data up to some sort of central data exchange. Where it's aggregating all that inventory and then sharing all the attributes and inventory levels about that catalog. So for example, for Gearfire, we integrate with 15 different suppliers. So all the inventory that's sitting in those suppliers, the pictures, the descriptions, all the attributes stream up to a central data exchange, and then we push those down into e-commerce websites, point of sale systems, and everything to give retailers a lot of tools to dynamically sell products to consumers. So I'll dive into why I believe streaming inventory is so important, and a lot of research shows that it's important too, and because it solves the biggest frustration that consumers have with shopping in physical retail stores. Any guesses what the biggest frustration consumers have with retail stores? Out of stock. Consumers, the number one reason that consumers don't go to stores as often, besides COVID, it's changed things a little bit, is they're disappointed when they go to the store and that the products that they're looking for are not sitting on the shelves. It's funny over time as I've watched these figures grow. COVID has driven that number two of crowded stores. People used to not care about crowded stores, but this study was just done in late 2020, and now that's becoming a concern along with that other shoppers and queuing at checkouts. But again, the number one reason consumers are frustrated with stores is because the products are not in stock. Streaming inventory solves a big chunk of that problem. So how does it fix that problem? Well, when you integrate streaming inventory with a point of sale system, and you have your point of sale system set up properly with mids and maxes set up in it and auto orders, your point of sale is going to make sure that the products that you naturally carry in your stores don't run out of stock. The second thing streaming inventory does is gives your counter staff the quick access to do special orders with the consumers if you don't happen to have the product in your store. So you want to, when a consumer's in your store, and if you have an engaging staff, if they notice the consumer's not finding what they're looking for, engage with them quickly and then figure out what they want, and then have the tools in your store to quickly find it and special order it. I always kind of say never let that consumer out at your front door with your money, because they came there, they have purchase intent. Don't let them leave before they buy something. They're as long as they know that they bought it while they're in their store, even though if they don't leave it within their hand, they're still satisfied because they know that it's coming. Another big tool, and you see a lot of big box retailers doing this now, is implementing in-store kiosks for ordering products. So just simple tools like if you have an e-commerce website, and it's got streaming inventory, integrated into it, have your e-commerce site on a, as simple as a Chromebook on your counter, all the way to a full little. I've seen dealers, retailers get really elaborate with the in-store ordering kiosks, big signage and everything, and they train the counter staff to lead the consumers to those in-store kiosks. Those drive a lot of, captures a lot of lost revenue that you otherwise wouldn't have had. And then, in the last part here, it establishes trust with the consumer that even though you don't have it in the store, they know that they can come to you to get whatever they're looking for. So I'm going to squirrel out here and go in a different direction, but I felt like I couldn't not include BOPIS and talk a little bit about that and how streaming inventory helps BOPIS. So BOPIS is buy online, pick up in store. This has gained a ton of popularity in the past 10 years, and it's really, there was this huge wave that everybody wanted the products delivered to their house, and then, and this was pre-COVID, and then there was the porch pirates that started coming around and stealing your stuff from your doorstep, and then consumers started liking, buying online and then going to the pickup in the store. COVID kind of changed that, but I think it's coming backwards. Consumers, they're sitting on their couch in their bunny slippers, and they're shopping, they're buying on, finding what they want, buying online and going in the store. And then when they go in the store, they spend all sorts of more money with all the other stuff in the store. But the buy online, pick up in store concept, it gets those consumers in your store. They may only buy one thing online, but when they go inside your store, you have endless opportunities to cross-sell, upsell those consumers. So I won't go through all these statistics here and stuff, but you guys get the idea. Buy online and pick up in store is something that every retailer should be integrating into the way that they do business. So in embracing BOPIS and how to really leverage it and get your consumers onto it is encourage them, give them messaging on the site. Hey, buy this online, come pick it up in the store, and with free gifts, and they don't have to be big things. Get a free sticker, or if it's a really high dollar item, come in store and pick up your item in store and get a free hat, or get 10% off your next purchase. But really encourage them. Pure shopping online and having it delivered to their house, you lose that opportunity of the cross-sell, upsell. So I encourage everybody, and have a way to sell online, but encourage them to come in the store and pick up those products. Again, because in-store shopping is the best channel to spur those in-store purchases, the cross-sell, upsell opportunities, and consumers. And I'm one of them. I all the time on Best Buy, I buy, just purchase online, and I go in store and pick it up, and I go tool around and end up buying a whole bunch of other stuff. But you feel better about the whole experience. You feel better about the retailer, and you just gain more trust there with the retailer. And then when the consumer's picking up in store, they're never upset about a late delivery, no porch pirates. And again, when a retailer deals with a porch pirate, guess who loses in the end? The retailer. Either you have to refund the consumer the money, or if you want to fight it, you're going to lose, because ultimately the consumer will lose and you'll get a chargeback, which you don't want. So again, embrace BOPIS. It's a really great platform or concept that I encourage everybody to embrace. So maximizing the BOPIS experience, it's also a communication factor. So as soon as the consumer's checking out, they obviously should get a email confirmation, and then let them know, when they can come pick up the product, even if it's a streaming inventory item that's got to come from the supplier. Just let the consumer know, hey, this is in our warehouse. It'll be here in a couple days. But don't just let the consumer out there floundering. Communicate early and often with them. Special order pickup areas, make them feel special when they come into the store, that their item is sitting there waiting for them in a special area. Again, ensure your staff gives those consumers priority service. Cater to that. Make sure they're watching that order pickup area, and then again, on creating the trust with the consumer, make sure that the returns process is as seamless as possible. So. Amazon has trained everybody in the world and other retailers like Costco is another one too. You can just return anything, anytime. The consumers are trained to be that way, trained for that kind of service, and us as independent retailers, we have to embrace that too and provide that same level of service. And again, when I mentioned this before, offer them a coupon. With your e-commerce platform, hopefully it has the ability to do coupon codes. Give them a coupon code for a percentage off their next purchase online. So Bopus and streaming online, all leads you down to that buzzword omni-channel retailing. There's all, as you grow your business and you get online, you're dipping all of your toes. You're dipping your toes in all these different channels and ways to interact with your customer. You're going down the path of becoming an omni-channel retailer, and that's, I feel that in order to succeed long term and attract all the customers that are in your market, you have to make moves to become an omni-channel retailer. So I have a few points up here to kind of ask yourself, how am I doing in the world of omni-channel retailing? Am I using all the features in my point of sale system? So most modern point of sale systems have the tools for set your mins and maxes. Use those tools. Some point of sales you can set the mins and maxes and it just prints out a report and then you go order that. Other point of sale systems out there will actually automatically place the orders with your suppliers. So see if your system has those features. If not, ask your current vendor or go look at solutions out there where the point of sale system does all that heavy lifting for you. It's automatically sending those replenishment orders to the suppliers on your behalf. Doing accurate inventory. Check your how often do you check your inventory, and is it accurate in your point of sale system? You already talked about the last time you looked at your min-max levels. Auto replenishment I discussed a little bit, and how many streaming inventory offerings am I offering to my consumers? So have a wide range of suppliers that you're leveraging streaming inventory for. I mean, maybe if you're just a fishing retailer, maybe there's some crossover into say marine parts or shooting sports or hunting or camping. Make sure that you already have those customers in their store. They likely spill over into some of these other hobbies. It doesn't cost you anything with streaming inventory to offer those products for you. Those are sitting in the distributors' warehouses. You don't have to carry them, so why not offer them to your consumers? How good is my mobile offering? So is your website and your e-commerce experience really optimized to a mobile checkout and mobile browsing? 70% of the consumers that visit the sites that Gearfire hosts are buying guns, ammo, fishing, camping supplies on their phone. They're not sitting at home buying. There's 70% of them are on their phone buying products like that. What is the sales volume I'm generating online? Typically, if you're doing it right, your online sales should grow to about, we see an average about 20% of the sales that happen in your store or your aggregate sales should be coming from your online channel. What percentage of my sales are, same kind of question there. Next, and where is my Bopus location, that pickup area? So ask yourself all these questions, assess your business, and see where you kind of stack up in an omni-channel retailing world. All right, so jumping back into the streaming inventory side of it. Streaming inventory is really cool about getting products in front of your consumers really, really fast. The second that products hit a supplier, the supplier's going to inventory them in, and they're going to show up on your website immediately. So you're saving a few days or weeks before you realize that supplier's carrying that inventory, but your website or whatever tools you have are immediately showing that for sale, and your consumers can shop and buy those. It's funny, some of the retailers make comments to me that I didn't even know that was a product that's available, and it shows up at their back door and a consumer had bought it. I didn't know so and so came out with that new reel. It's fun hearing those stories. With the streaming inventory, it's also rethink the spending money on excessive inventory positions. So carry less. You don't have to carry 2 months supply of a product. leverage the tools you have with, carry maybe 2 weeks supply and just, be constantly reordering and letting the streaming and inventory auto replenish and keep those products in stock. And then you can carry more products in your stock because you're not carrying 2 months worth of product. And you'll have the ability to have more in stock, a broader array of in stock products in your store. Inventory management, again, leveraging streaming inventory and the tools in your point of sale system. You don't have to deal with as much of the restocking. Let the tools do the work. All you need to do is put the products on the shelf, but let your technology do all the ordering for you. Talked about, as fast as the new products hit your supplier channel, they can be available on your website. And then, learn what items are selling that you don't even currently have. I kind of touched on that already. So, and I kind of blew through this presentation. So, again, to me, with the retailers that we currently service, their comment is, as soon as they stand up a Gearfire site, or if there's other providers out there, they feel like a big box retailer because you have the entire inventory of your suppliers available on your website for your shoppers to say. You look like a giant retailer in the consumer's eyes because everything's on the website. And again, even if you have a small 2,000, 2,500 square foot store and they're coming in and you have limited space to carry inventory, you look huge. The perception is if you have those kiosks in your store that you have this huge back warehouse that and you just explain to them, oh, we don't have room for that, but I can get that to you in a couple of days. Come on back, or I'll ship it directly to you. So it's really, really satisfying to have these tools at your disposal and satisfy your consumers as they come in your store. So quick summary. Kind of re-going through all the points. Streaming low inventory allows you to sell items that otherwise would have been out of stock in store and online. Draws customers into the store for cross-sell, upsell through Lopez. Enables your customers to shop for what they want, when they want, and where they want and when they want. Don't spend money on excessive inventory positions while still providing your customers what they want. Provide new products as fast as they hit the market, or at least hit the supplier channel. They're available immediately on their website. Expand your inventory selection just vastly, endless aisles of inventory that are sitting in your suppliers' websites. And then the next generation is working with your suppliers and having them drop ship products directly to your consumer, which a lot of suppliers can do that as well. So that's kind of a fun one too, where your consumer buys a product on your website, your supplier ships it directly to the consumer. You never even actually had to touch that product. You received the revenue for it and made that sale and made a happy customer. So quick summary on what Gearfire does. Gearfire currently streams the inventory of 15 outdoor recreation distributors into our turnkey e-commerce platforms, point of sale, and all the technology that you would need to run a store. We have financial solutions. We provide consumer financing. We provide merchant services and digital marketing tools. We feel like we're an end-to-end technology provider to outdoor recreation retailers. And there's the list of distributors that we're currently integrated with, and we're constantly adding 4 to 5 distributors onto the platform a year. So constantly expanding and offering our customers, the retailers, more and more inventory offerings to make you look like a giant retailer. So wow, I think I'm awfully nervous on this presentation. It went awfully fast, but let's move over to, hopefully folks have a lot of questions and we can have made this worth your time. Is Liz around with the microphone? Okay. So the question is, how has Gearfire as a provider handled the inventory debacles and issues that have been happening over the past year with COVID? So unfortunately, Gearfire is only as good as the distributors' inventory positions that they have. Most of the modern suppliers have what it's called real-time inventory, where throughout the purchase process on the Gearfire platforms, we check the inventory 4 times during the purchase path. We check, so the first time we check it is as the e-commerce page loads, we ping the suppliers and we decide, do we even want to display the product? If it's out of stock, by default, our platforms don't display the product at all. So as the page is loading, we're pinging the suppliers, is products in stock, display it. And then when the consumer looks closer at the product, on a product detail page, we check it again. When they add it to their shopping cart, we check it a 3rd time. And the 4th time we check the inventory is when the consumer places order on their cart. Before we send the transaction to your merchant processing, we check the inventory 1 more time there. So we're trying as hard as we can to make sure that you're not selling something that's out of stock. But if the supplier's inventory that they're sending us is inaccurate, I think consumers are also, they can be sympathetic that, because of the cyber, and you can use, play the COVID card, because of COVID, there was a discrepancy with the inventory, and just refund them their purchase. Yeah, so if the supplier has a capacity, which I think there's only a couple that don't, the second the consumer places the order, we submit, electronically to the supplier, and they pull that out of inventory immediately. Again, all the suppliers are different as far as how quick they can do it, but I think our slowest supplier is every 15 minutes. And again, there's only a couple that are that slow. Most of them have upgraded their tech, and it's real time. They'll decrement the inventory and allocate it to the retailer. But yeah, we electronically send that PO immediately. As soon as the consumer hits place order, we shoot that order to the supplier on the retailer's behalf.
See if this works. All right, I got the mic now, right here.
Okay.
This sounds like almost like a dream, right? Where you have access to all this inventory. Because it's a constant battle every day. I go onto my distributors and see what's available. Penn, who has, I don't know how many SKUs, they got 6 options on Big Rock now. So it's crazy that you have to go on every single day. But kind of walk me through this. You have all these distributors here that your platform chooses from. The link from my website will take them to your platform where they have the option to buy any of that, and then I make the money on top of that if I was to sell it through my website.
So no. So what we do, we don't take them to our website. We consider them your website. So we can most retailers that engage with us, we actually take over their whole URL and we become their web presence. But we brand it to the retailer. It's on the retailer's URL. We brand it to the retailers. It's the retailer's website. So with our platform, currently we have 2,200 retailers that we run their websites. We literally have 2,200 websites that we host. So it's your website that the consumer is engaging with. When they buy it, it's the prices that you set. So because of the nature of the integrations that we have with the suppliers, we know your costs that you've negotiated with the supplier. You set your margins, and then when the consumer checks out, you get paid. And then whatever your terms are with the supplier, they'll bill you or invoice you or whatever for that product. So you still maintain your relationship with the supplier on that side. You're paid in full before you even own the product. Does that make sense? Or did I answer your question, I guess?
Yes and yes.
Okay.
It just sounds too good to be true almost, the way things are difficult these days. But thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions? Who's ready to sign up?
So how does it work? Like you said, as soon as a customer places the order, the supplier should take it out of their inventory and commit it.
Mm-hmm.
Can you set it to, like, obviously you don't want a $5 product being shipped out to you where the supplier's going to charge you $10
Right.
for shipping. Is there a set limit where you can say, okay, don't ship this till there's $100 worth of inventory of product or whatever?
Yeah, so typically, you know, what the retailers will do, and the suppliers have that we do business with have become used to this. Is you if you have a rep at the supplier say, hold all my orders for freight is what we call it. Yeah, so wait till I meet my minimum threshold, which maybe it's $300, $500, and then ship the order to me. And again, as long as you're communicating with the consumer, hey, you know, we receive the order, and then, you know, whenever the orders you got your minimum, then the supplier will ship it. The suppliers actually like it because it gives them, especially the rep, an opportunity. Hey, you just got a Gearfire order. We got a special on this. So the reps are calling you and cross-selling, upselling you to get you to the $500. So. Jim, did I miss anything?
What lift can I expect in my sales if I have that platform?
So it's interesting. I've heard the retailers that are super excited and engage with our platform. I just think I'm trying to keep this nebulous and make it, you know, for any e-commerce experience. But if you work your e-commerce experience, you should see a 20% lift in sales, and that's what the retailers explain to us. Now, sometimes the 20% is not completely represented by online sales. It's like it's not 20. Your online doesn't necessarily represent 20%, but it's the lift that it brings for the traffic and the people that it's driving into your store. Because a lot of times a consumer will see your site and, man, they got a lot of stuff, and they'll come into your store and then the purchase is there. Well, you can't track that customer unless you got a lot of cool tools built into your business, but you don't know. You're not attributing that sale that you made in your bricks and mortar store to an online sale, when the customer drove in. But typically a 20% lift in overall sales in your store is what our retailers have experienced.
How much work is it for me to get it up and running?
I love this guy. He's throwing me softballs. So with the for the fishing vertical for Gearfire, well, you said how much work, not how much does it cost. It's super, super easy. So typically the setup for a Gearfire site is about 24 hours. We have your site up and running. It's wicked fast. And then, you know, the process of teaching you how to use it, we're a pretty touchy-feely company where we will actually call you, schedule appointments, walk you through, spend as much time on the phone with a screen share and show you how to run the site, walk you through how to set your margins, setting up the suppliers, you know, activating your merchant processing on there, and all those tools. And with, you know, one of the things that Gearfire does, and you know, it almost sounds cliche to do it, but we truly are, and you can ask our existing customers, we have unlimited free support. You can call in every day and wear us out if you want. We will answer the phone. I've got 12 full-time people in our offices in Scottsdale, not in Tel Aviv or something, but in Scottsdale, that will answer your phone calls and teach you. If you forgot everything that we already taught you about the website, we'll tell you, go through it all again. And we actually do dedicated account managers. So you'll have a dedicated person that you can always call, which is your first line of defense. And for whatever reason, if they're on the phone or off that day, then you roll over to another person on the team. But we do actually have, you can call us, which is unusual in the tech space these days. But yeah, it's super easy. We can typically get the website up and running in 24 hours. Yes. Yeah, when we stream the inventory onto the website from the mix of suppliers that you activate. We manage the pictures, descriptions, everything. Real-time inventory in most cases. You don't have to do anything. I mean, we organize it. We make it look pretty. You can go in there and customize it, brand it, and kind of move the site around and make it your own, and talk about your story if you decide to make us your only online presence. But yeah, we do all the heavy lifting for you. Now, I do want to note that you can list your own products that are not in the suppliers as well. So you're not stuck just selling supplier inventory. You can load all your own inventory. It's either by bulk or onesie twosies on the platform. Now, in that case, you would need to put your own pictures onto the platform. But if it's something that's in the suppliers, then we already have the photos.
And so with that, do you have like an apparel option? Like, so it would drop down for sizes?
Yes, yeah, we have matrix and parent-child relationships, colors, and then small, medium, large, and sizes and all that jazz. Yeah. The platform's got all that built in.
Start to talk about price. Is that something you started it?
Or one other thing, and then I'll hit you with the price. And I hope Liz isn't mad at me, because this was not supposed to be a Gearfire pitch. I was just trying to educate generically on streaming inventory. But something that we've put a tremendous amount of investment to is we have 4 full-time people on our staff that do nothing but groom the catalog, what we call our master data catalog. Typically, the suppliers are terrible about describing stuff. They use a bunch of industry jargon and abbreviations and all that jazz, and sometimes the pictures are garbage. We review every product in the platform and make sure that it's consumer optimized. The suppliers, a lot of times their sites are optimized to sell to you as a dealer, with industry jargon. We did the work to make sure it looks good for a consumer shopping. So the grand reveal on the price. So the platform is $249 a month, and and there's no, and that's it. Everything that I talked about, it has the distributor feeds, all the automated ordering through the back, all that's included. Then we don't take a percentage of the sales. It's just a flat $249 a month, no contract, no setup fee, no cancellation fees. So you try us after 3 months, you're out $750, and we'll part ways. But we're that confident that this is a good investment, that we don't have contracts, that you'll like our service, and that you'll like the platform. Thanks.
So in order to use your platform, we have to have accounts with all of your distributors then,
No,
right?
just one.
Just one?
You can have as many distributors as you want, but you only need one to get the
Right.
platform.
So if I want to
working.
utilize all those distributors, I have to have accounts with all the distributors, correct?
Correct.
All
Yeah.
right.
But in order to get it working, you need at least one of those guys to get it up and running. Otherwise, there's no product on it. I mean, I guess you can knock yourself out and try and load all the products yourself with no distributor feed, but. Did I miss anything, JW, that you want to cover? How are we doing here? You guys still have me for 22 more minutes if you want to ask me more questions.
So customizing the website that you guys build for us, for a brick and mortar store, what's the process behind that? You kind of send us a mock-up saying, hey, this is what it's going to be looking like, or it's just a typical template that you guys use?
Yeah, we have a variety of templates, but typically we hit you with the standard template, And then part of the walkthrough when we help you set up the website is teach you how to customize it. It's pretty user friendly where you don't need us to help you. I mean, we're happy to help you. Hey, how do I do this? And we'll show you how all to do it. And if you can't figure it out, we'll walk you through, or even do it yourself. Do it for you. Our girls our customer service team is so eager to please, to a fault sometimes. Again, by default, it has this very standard template, but you can start massaging it and making it your own. Change the colors, add your logos, move stuff around, create featured areas, talk about your store, all that stuff.
So if we have a current website up right now, would it just be a new URL that we build onto our website, or it's just complete takeover?
So that's totally up to you. And what we have, a good chunk of our retailers, what they'll do is create what's called a subdomain. So say your domain is joesfishandtackle.com, and you have a lot of work and it's got a lot of content on that website. We'll put the whole e-commerce website on a subdomain, so it would be shop.joesfishandtackle.com. And we would walk you through on how to create that subdomain, and then we'll point the website at that spot. And then on your main domain, you would just make sure to put like a shop now or shop our online inventory, and then would just pass the consumer back and forth between those sites. So you wouldn't have to go buy a whole new domain. We could put it on what's called a subdomain, and that doesn't cost anything.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. So should you be interested, we posted this presentation on our URL. If you go to gearfire.com right now, it's very shooting sports focused. But on gogearfire.com, you can navigate through and look at what we're offering on the fishing space and or the shooting sports space. And also on that direct URL, you can get this presentation. But that walks through all our different offerings. The point of sale, the marketing, all that good stuff. One other last thing I guess I'll leave you with is we've got a really new exciting product launch, which is consumer financing. So any products over $500, you can offer financing to your consumers. You get paid in full at front, right up front, and we take the burden of setting up the financing and the payments with the consumers. So just think about how you could leverage those tools. Anything, reels, kayaks, any products, even charters, you could finance for the consumers. We do up to 60 months. And it's a pretty reasonable interest rate. The max we'll ever charge a consumer is 17.99%. So it's kind of a middle of the road credit card. We're not scalping the consumers, and you look like a hero to the consumer because you're offering them more options to purchase products. It's a great tool, and we've found on all the beta testing, and we've done a lot of testing on it, that it increases the average shopping cart $1,700 when a consumer uses financing on their website, and you can offer it on products in your store too. So that's kind of all built into our ecosphere and our tech stack. If should you want to offer those types of things. Liz, I promise this wasn't a 100% sales pitch. It just kind of it went that direction. We've been new questions for a bit. Any other questions for me? All right. You can actually see our booth. It's peeking up over there. We're over by the big tank, the demo tank there down the aisle. So keep an eye out. Stop by, ask questions. We'll be around the rest of the week.
I got one more question for you.
Okay.
A lot of companies, Shimano, top shelf dealers, B2B business sites, things like that, where as brick and mortar we could offer certain products that other places couldn't. We could make links to those say, products through our website, through you. That's a possibility as well.
You can list all the products on the e-commerce site that we're hosting for you. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So those products that are kind of B2B, supply, we have to have those on hand in order to sell those online.
I would recommend that. Yeah.
Okay.
I wouldn't put them on there unless you have them in stock. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
Mhm. All right.
Thanks, everybody.
Yeah, thank you for letting me ramble on and that furied presentation. Have a great day, everybody.